This is why I won't delete this app. I have pulled this up a minimum of 5 times. Your purchases are paid off. This is my journey of paying off 49 Affirm loans in 2024.
Guys, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this.
Into 2025 in the first month. In 13 months, I paid off 49 Affirm loans.
That's good.
Possible, you guys. This is like my little history of showing myself I can do it. And if I can do it, yeah, you can do it too. I just finished paying off $7,500 on Affirm, and people in my comment section absolutely want me to delete the app.
This is the new thing. It's not actually new, but this is what is going on with especially young people. I'm happy that we've talked to my daughter about finances to the point where she does not have to use this. And by no means is this bashing anyone who uses Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna. I actually did Affirm my Peloton bike during the pandemic when I couldn't go to the gym, and it was driving me completely insane sitting in the house. And I was like, I have to do something. But when I did do the Affirm payment, actually, I didn't even know what Affirm was till I went to get my Peloton bike. I went to get my Peloton bike. They said I could either pay it outright, or they gave me a military discount, and they said that it would be 0% interest, but I'd have to go through this route. That's the first time I ever saw or heard what Affirm was. I did not know that was a thing. I didn't know what Afterpay or Klarna was till probably after that. So I did use Affirm to pay off my bike. My bike has since been paid off. I actually paid it off early. And then about 2 years ago, I used Affirm again to get my Peloton tread. And now I prefer the tread more than the bike. It's a long story. And I think I want to sell the bike. That's something different. But I didn't know that people were getting in trouble with these loans. I had no idea. Like, I remember back in the day when there were the payday loans. And with me being in the military, I remember that there were people who would go take out those loans so frequently that by the time we got paid on the 1st and the 15th, that they still would have no money because they were constantly trying to catch up with paying these loans. And so with Affirm, there are some plans that I've read that you do have interest, depending on the company that you're doing the Affirm with, depending on the amount that you're doing the Affirm with. They will give you like a few payment options, one plan with no interest, one plan with some interest, and then the next plan with higher interest, obviously giving you more time to pay it off. But the longer that you take to pay it off, I'm gonna make sure I don't hit my dog, that you can accrue more interest. From what I'm reading, Klarna and Afterpay doesn't have interest. Those are like, they go directly to your direct deposit through your direct deposit and come out. I guess they come out in different ways. I'm not sure, but I didn't know that this was a thing. I did not know that people were actually getting into trouble. 49 Affirm payments. Wow. I'm happy for her. I am really, really happy that she was able to catch up. Now, on this clip, people are asking you to borrow your Affirm. That's like asking, you remember back when you were younger, and I don't know how old my audience is, obviously, or the people that are watching this. I'm in my midlife. I'm in my 40s. And I remember when people used to say, hey, will you take me here? I'll give you some gas money. But to say, like, can I borrow your Affirm? That's like saying, can I borrow your credit card? I think it's different when you say, hey, can I borrow some money? But to ask for like your line of credit, like, is this really where we're going? Is this really where we're going? I don't know. I can see how I see when I purchase things online, and I've been on a low buy year. So I have been purchasing much. I've been doing so well, and we're in the middle of February. I haven't purchased anything that wasn't really a necessity, but I always see that they give that option to Afterpay it. I think in this one clip, I agree with her. I agree. I completely agree with her. Let me grab that clip for you.
I think that was $80. And I'm sorry, but if I don't have $80 to pay up in full, maybe I just don't need it. It's not an essential. I just feel like using those type of services are so normalized, especially if you're in your early 20s. And if it's not for a necessity, I'm sorry, but it's not normal. Yeah. So For 2025, I want to pay off all of my debt I have when it comes to those.
Good
Because
job,
yes,
girl.
you accumulate this huge number and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? Last time I am using Klarna, guys. This shit wraps you up. Next minute, you are paying thousands of pounds to fucking Klarna and you don't even know it. It's such a good idea at first. And it's like, all right, cool, I don't have the money, but I have the money next month when I get paid. But then when you get paid next month, you've got some next bill. You've got this, you've got that.
For an emergency.
Teeth. Yeah, it's teeth in, yeah? Guys, don't do it. Another thing, don't let anyone use your Klarna, yeah? Listen, I've had so many people, oh, can I use your Klarna? My Klarna doesn't work. They out there asking these other people.
That's what I'm saying. Asking to use your Klarna, like, no, that's not like asking to borrow a shirt. You're asking to borrow essentially my credit. Like, no. And then first of all, that should be a red flag. If you have somebody asking you to do that, that should be a complete red flag. Now, I did see in some comments where people say I use that for big purchases because I have a plan. I'm not saying not to utilize these services at all. We all have different finances, just like I explained. I could have bought the Peloton bike outright. I could have bought the treadmill outright, but I was like, you know what? Why not do this? Because they were offering me 0% interest. Like, I was like, why not do it? I wasn't paying any more on the bike. And like I said, essentially I paid them off, early. Didn't have to, but I did. But I mean, what do you guys think about this? Like, do you think it should be for small purchases? Because I'm like this. I'm like, if, like Homegirl said, if you don't have $80 to buy that whatever you're buying, it's probably something you don't need. I can almost 100% promise you that if it's that low priced or low cost of an item, it's probably more of a want rather than a need. But I've seen some stories where people said, once I pay this off this year, I am done. I am completely done. I'm done with it. And I think that's a good thing. I think that we really need to get back and check with our finances, especially with everything that's going on, with all the rise in prices of literally everything. And people are finally putting their foot down saying, you know what, I have to find a way to get out of the cycle. Now, there are some people that are going to need to utilize these type of programs for an emergency. I get it. But a lot of times people are not using these for emergencies. They're using them for front row concert tickets. They're using them for vacations. They're using them for things that are not necessarily an emergency. And that's where I think the problem actually comes in. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think that society is starting to normalize using things like payments, or using things like Afterpay, Klarna, and Affirm? Do you think that that's just like, it's just replacing the old school payday loans? I just think it's another thing in addition to your credit card, because they do, I guess, a soft credit check. And, once, but if you miss that one payment, that's what I think people think. They're like, oh, this isn't getting reported to the credit bureau. Well, I looked it up, and then once you make that payment late, or you miss that payment, it does get reported to your credit bureau. And it also, if you're going to purchase a home, it also reflects, once they're looking at it, because they see a revolving payment when they look at your bank statements, they also notice that banks can recognize that's probably Klarna, that's probably Afterpay, that's probably, what's the other one? Affirm. Banks can recognize that. They're not stupid. So let me know what your thoughts are below. Let me know if you used it. I mean, it's fine, I think, if you use it responsibly, but if you get to a point where you have 49 Afterpay or Affirm payments, and this lady was so happy. So it didn't sound to me, I could be wrong, do not know her, we can play devil's advocate, I could be 1,000% wrong. But I promise you, I don't think 49 of those payments were all for emergencies. They probably were for wants versus needs. And we got to smarten up. So I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.